exciting show, the Onward and Upward podcast. I'm Kurt Roska, pleased to be co-hosting this with Emily Gulmer. Emily is going to be spending a lot of her time with podcast engineering, and she's going to be watching all the technical stuff and doing more of the producer role, and she'll chime in when she can. But other than that, we have Toby here, and Toby we know through the Happy Neighborhood Project. He comes to us from Australia. And so we're going to get into coaching and education that he has. And then we're going to kind of keep learning about him through the other hats that he wears in his personal life. Don't know if we'll be sharing anything of faith life or lifelong learning in himself, or any role he plays over there in Australia, maybe in the government, politicals, maybe civil servant. We'll really dive in and see what he's comfortable to share here today, folks. And then we like to keep it fun. It is a show, it is entertainment. So we'll be talking about, look at that, he's got a background of a beach, and so we're looking at a fun-loving guy here and likes to keep everybody in that mindset. And so just want to give a little more background to our Onward and Upward podcast. This is something that was, again, born out of further back with Mariana Waikiki of Hawaii. And she's got her Acts of Kindness book series and her project and so forth. So we were doing Friendly Fridays with her, and, just kind of had good casual conversation, diving into her project, getting that Hawaiian culture out there. So we got the Pacific Ocean, greatly involved here one way or another, from different directions. And so she put that into hiatus. And so Emily had the great idea of continuing on with it, with Onward and Upward, founded by Anna Maria Bliven, veteran, a U.S. Army veteran. And so Onward and Upward is veteran founded. And so we also are supported by a for-profit that Anna Maria also put together. So a woman-owned and veteran-owned company, Prosperity Pathways LLC, and it's all about employment, and employment being a strategy for the charitable work of helping people experiencing homelessness, houselessness, home insecurity. And so we're in the 501c3 space that way. And we'll be threading in a little bit of insight on, you're seeing on my border here, 2/22 to save 22 for February 22nd. So a little note for Emily. Our friend Denise Vargas was just calling me through this Zoom podcast, and so I don't want to interrupt our flow here, but we'll give a shout out to Denise Vargas. She did this border here. So Emily Gulmer, if you could help us out and check and see if maybe Denise wants to join Toby and I in this conversation, we'd welcome her. She's got Live Creatively Inc., and she's part of all these collaborations, including 2/22 to save 22. So that all being said, enough on the background here on our side. Toby, we're going to come over to you. We're going to shift over to your life, and let's start with what you got at your desk there and in your background. We're seeing education, coaching academy. Give us more about it. What's all available through BCF?
Yeah, right. Okay. So I guess a bit of history in about the BCF Coaching Academy. I was living in Fiji, and I was a former university lecturer and had retired back in 2017. So I ran a solar company I went over live in Fiji, which is, you can see behind me, the photo. And I guess it was a great lifestyle, good to retire. I ran a solar company. And then I started people started coming to me and saying, can you help me start my business? I don't know how to start a business. So then what I did was, being a university lecturer, I started running courses in entrepreneurship, and hence the BCF, which originally stood for Business Coaching Fiji. So I started the business over there. I was running courses, I was running events to promote the courses, and it was going really, really well. Fast forward to March 2020, we had the thing called coronavirus, which I'm sure many of us are aware of. And I also had a family tragedy. So I had to quickly come back, drop everything, quickly come back to Australia. And since then, we've pretty much been locked down. Our borders have only opened up in December last year, December the 1st. So up until then, 18 months, we've been complete lockdown and isolated from the rest of the world. So instead of just sitting around doing nothing and thinking about, watching Netflix and sort of wasting time, I decided maybe I should take everything online. So I started putting together courses in entrepreneurship and in particular startups. And everything now I do is online. So what I've been doing is developing a thing called Startup Fundamentals, which allows entrepreneurs to go to market strategy and develop products and services that customers really want and love. So if you've got an idea, big idea, what we do is we help you test and validate the market before you launch. So our particular program is just a series of 40 video lessons and weekly coaching program over 90 days. So what happens is people come in with an idea, or they may not even have an idea. They may want to be an entrepreneur, or they may want to start a business, but they're not really sure how to do this. Or they may have had a business that's not doing so well, or they may have failed in a business and they just want to go launch the next idea. Or you could be a successful serial entrepreneur and you just want to launch your idea quickly. So what we do is we help take the ouch factor out of launching by removing all the pitfalls associated with starting a business. So when you start a business, you want to do this correctly. And if you've ever sort of researched small business failure, about 85% of products fail and services fail within the first year of launch. So my question was, why does this occur? Why does this happen? So over the years, I've been in research, both as a lecturer and also as a master's graduate in entrepreneurship, as to why businesses do fail. And the main reason why businesses fail is essentially they're delivering products and services that customers really don't need or want. So through this program, we're able to go out, test and validate using the lean methodology and the lean startup and the customer discovery process to test your idea before you launch. Now, we want to ensure that you launch something that the customers really need and want, right? So we go out, we test and validate it, and then we run a series of experiments. And what we do is we teach you the process in the meantime of how to get your fundamentals correct. Because most people come to me and say, oh, I've got a business, and can you do a Facebook launch, or can you do Instagram launch? And the thing is, you've got to get your fundamentals correct and your strategy correct before you start doing this. So things like a Facebook or Instagram, they're all tactics, right? So the idea is to get your market dominant position early. Now get that correct. Make sure you have customers, and then work with those customers that you initially talk to about how to develop it and how to work with them to onboard them, to make sure that what you produce is what the customers really want. So you're getting their feedback all the time. So it's like an iteration loop, like a closed feedback loop, until you're able to understand what you're doing. And how we validate that at the end? Well, what we do is once you've made sales, then your idea is validated. Until then, you may not, you might have to reiterate, or you might have to pivot, what we call pivot, or even just go back to the drawing board. Otherwise, you're wasting a lot of time and money. And I see a lot of people wasting lots of money and time trying to get to the market for things that don't work. And part of the program, we also deal with mindset as well. So things like cognitive bias, how to deal with failure, and also personal leadership and personal transformation in entrepreneurship. So in other words, how to turn from an entrepreneur into an entrepreneurial leader. So this is really, really valuable for our clients, and certainly it can save a lot of time and money. So I hope that's answered your question there, Kurt.
Yeah, it does really give us the lay of the land, and gives us a lot of application and a lot of detail we can really relate to. So thanks for going through all that with us. That gives us a great foundation to continue the next couple segments of our podcast here. I do want to welcome Denise Vargas again, captain of ours through the Happy Neighborhood Project, H&P LGBTQ, H&P Ability, H&P Hispanic Entrepreneurs, and H&P Nonprofit, which really folds into the scope of what this podcast is all about. And Denise also is a coach, and so this realm of coaching is rather diverse, because we can focus and specialize in different areas, and we all have our different flair and superiorities in coaching. So, Denise, are you able to come unmuted and join the
Hey, Denise,
conversation?
how are you?
Hey, Toby, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Very good. Yourself? Good?
Yes, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Always welcome.
Yeah, I go to Toby's Australian meeting often. I love going to see my mates down under.
Mm, yeah, we've built a happy little tribe here down under, and it's actually quite successful. And we're getting some good crowds coming in. And the beauty of our H&P Australian event is it's also suitable for the American or the North American time zone as well. So if you haven't got anything to do in the afternoon, just come along to our Australian events. And it's always a little bit different because you do travel to the future. So yeah.
Yes, totally love being there. I get to know that, hey, I get to find out what tomorrow is looking like for me.
Absolutely. And tomorrow's looking great.
Awesome.
So today, the big announcement I have is an honor that's been bestowed upon me at the Happy Neighborhood Project. It is facilitated through having a handful of mentors that help develop the community and so forth. And so today I had a remarkable meeting with our Director of Happiness, Fong Vo, and in 15 minutes, he went through some formalities and bestowed me the honor of being a mentor at the Happy Neighborhood Project. And so Toby and Denise are a couple of our friends that help make accomplishments like that possible, because we're all growing the community in our different ways. So I'm pleased to be able to be called to duty to say, the things that the mentor role does, that I'm able to do that for well into the year. The plan is that I'll be a mentor for the next 6 months, and then we'll see what happens after that. Once we're transitioning from July to August, then we'll just keep doing what we got to do by the end of the year. You're talking to 4 of us here, Emily, Toby, Denise, and me. We're joining the Pursue and Passion to take our 1,500 co-op members and go ahead and grow this business phenomenon, the happiest place in the world for business people, and grow it to 10,000 co-op members. So this is just a wildly fun and exciting development that we've been able to develop over the last year and a half, 2 years together. And we're just going to keep tearing it up. So Denise, do you want to come in here and give a little bit of background of your history with HMP and kind of your snapshot of what's going on presently, and then go on into your business role in terms of what you're sharing with everybody in these breakout rooms?
Yeah, so I actually found HMP by accident. So serendipity, as I like to say, those happy little accidents. I was actually scrolling through LinkedIn, which actually, before HMP, I never really was on LinkedIn much. But I was on LinkedIn this one day, and I was scrolling and I saw Happy Neighborhood Project. What's this about? And I always tell people that happiness is in my DNA. So when I found it, I was like, oh, let me check it out. I went to a couple of the meetings, fell in love with Edwin and his team and their mission. Saw his TED Talk, and I said, yes, this is where I want to go. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to grow. And that's exactly what I did. So not only have I grown my LinkedIn connections, I've grown such a great network of friends and like, well, I like to call them family, friends who are family, because we really are a happy neighborhood of people who are really there for each other. So I totally love that. And yeah, so I am a life coach, career coach, serial entrepreneur. I do help people with legal assistance, identity protection, nutritional well-being, and travel. So and hydration. So I do a bunch of different things, and I do it all because every bit of everything that I do, I truly do it because it's either benefited me or someone close to me, and I just want to share it with the world. So that is me. And congratulations, Kurt. I know you are going to be an awesome mentor.
Thank you very much. And yeah, I just take it as a capacity to fill and fulfill. And I just feel that when I talk about 1,500 co-op members, I just feel I just took on 1,500 bosses, because I'm here to serve and help us all make it as ideal for each other as it can be, because that's going to shape how ideal it is for the next 8,500. So this is growth at its best here. So Toby, Australia is very unique as far as the Happy Neighborhood Project. And, when we go to H&P Australia, it's not business as usual at the Happy Neighborhood Project. And the co-host teams are very innovative and right on spot to, give us an example of how to liven the community and mix and match it up and tweak it, and collaborating with Aaron Justice, our membership coordinator, and just doing all these things in an Australian way. You want to elaborate on that a little bit from your co-hosting experience and so forth?
Yeah.
How is Australia different for Happy Neighborhood Project and Happy Business Networking on Zoom?
Well, I guess firstly, Australians are a little bit different from the rest of the world, so you have to take that into account. And maybe in a way, we're probably a little bit crazy as well. So crazy in a good way, of course. Maybe one we'll even call kooky. So that to begin with, that's interesting, right? Second of all, what we have is great. We've got great leadership here in Australia under Ian Kingmilk, our captain. And he's always listening to what we want and what we want to try out. So if things aren't working, we say, hey, let's try this and let's try that, and we get around little groups, and then we start talking about how we can actually improve it or how we can actually get more members. So the whole idea is to try and get new members to come on board so that it remains fresh, right? So it remains always constantly evolving with new people coming on board. And in our last week's event, I think we had nearly 30 people, and half of which I didn't even know the first time I saw, right? So people are listening to what we're saying and coming along. But the other thing we're also doing is we're heavily investing our time into social media as well. So we're doing, we're promoting on social media, mainly Facebook and LinkedIn. And then we sort of said, well, let's refresh our Australian H&P Facebook group and our H&P Australian LinkedIn group. Let's start making the client or the customer the champion. So those people that come on board every week, it doesn't have to be every week, but those people that regularly come on board, they should be rewarded and recognized for coming along. It's not just the person that brings the most people in. I've been won that award many times, right? And I'm sick of seeing myself, right? So I want to meet new and interesting people. So those people that come on board, let's reward them. Let's get them on a video, and let's start doing a little bit of a spiel about them. And then let's refresh the H&P pages, both LinkedIn and Facebook, and start getting fresh ideas, get some more interaction. Because what was lacking essentially was, I guess, people interacting on Facebook and LinkedIn. So let's not start putting new faces so people come all the time, and let's start inviting people to come on board. So in terms of joining the pages, right? So that's a sort of the new approach, but it's all based around making the people, or we call the customer, the champion, right? Because that's what it's about. And I think people are feeling really, really happy. Plus, we're also trying different things during the event. We originally started with 2 breakout rooms. We thought sometimes, 15 minutes or 20 minutes is a little bit long to be in a breakout room, especially with people that you may already know, which is okay. You can just talk, but what about people you don't feel comfortable with? So let's sort of narrow that down, and let's put 3 breakout rooms, and let's make them 11 or 12 minutes each. So we found the optimum time is 11 minutes, right? 10 minutes is a little bit short. 12 minutes is we run out of time. So what we try to do is capture 3 11-minute breakout rooms. And when we ask people why they do come to the event, the main reason people do come is because they love the breakout rooms. So let's focus on building the breakout rooms and making them a little bit more interactive. So in other words, we've gone from 2 to 3 breakout rooms. And also, I think we introduced the Happy Wheel, which I think you guys do anyway, but we try to make the Happy Wheel really fun as well, right? And then we've got some really crazy co-hosts as well, and they're really interesting people. And what we want to do is just want to keep that flow happening. And it's all under the leadership of our captain, Ian Kingwell. He's amazing. He's an amazing human being. And we're like yourself, Kurt, we're all there to serve, right? We're all there to help, support. And the main thing is build a community. Now, why I was attracted to HMP is because it was a cooperative, and it was all, the focus was about being happy. And like Denise, I just scrolled through and randomly found the event. So this looks interesting. Hey, it's about being happy. And one of the things we've noticed over the sort of the term of the pandemic is people are longing for connection, human connection. And I think this is a great way to start connecting again with people. Yeah, we can't go out because, we're in lockdown, especially in Melbourne. We've had between 2020 and 2021, I think we had about 360 odd days of lockdown where we couldn't even leave the house within 5 kilometers. So we had a series of 7 lockdowns. They finished, they went out for 2 weeks and then back into lockdown again. So a lot of the people were suffering and we couldn't go out and meet people. But hey, let's build a community online. That was the main thing. That's what drew me as well. And now it's like 2022, where most of us are over this lockdown thing, but many of us are still in lockdown. Why? Because the disease is still spreading. So most of us are still choosing to stay at home, like myself, right? So having a community that you can have virtually or online is really, really important. And the good thing about all this is you get to meet amazing people like Emily, Denise, and you, Kurt. If it wasn't for the lockdown, or it wasn't for the pandemic, I wouldn't have met you guys, right? I wouldn't be here. So there is a blessing. Every cloud has a silver lining. This is certainly a silver lining. And I would urge anyone that's listening to this is start building the community, because that's what matters. People matter. Human to human interaction is what matters. Yeah.
Absolutely. The largest healthcare crisis known to humankind is social isolation. So we are very confident that 85 more, 8,500 more people are going to, want to take advantage of this free happy business networking, come into the community and move forward their enterprising goals. And earlier today, we had fireside chat with our Chief Happiness Officer, Edwin Edeberry, where it's almost got a similarity to this podcast, where on Zoom with Edwin and, we get about 20 other of our friends from HMP sticking with us. And, we're just having a nice humanitarian effort, charitable, philanthropic, pay it forward, sharing and, telling of events and so forth. And just, showing what we're representing, coming together as new friends that met through HMP. And we say it's united through a worldwide zip code of HAPPY. So Denise, I know you like that adage, and you've got again LGBTQ ability, nonprofit, and Hispanic entrepreneurs. So you're a captain of 4 very, like Toby was talking about how his groups are a little unique in personality and so forth. But Denise, you also have a different flair in the demographics that you're bringing forward in leadership. You want to talk about that a little bit, Denise, and let us know, how do we connect to the meetings that you're running, Denise?
Oh my gosh, yes. I do feel so blessed. I have an amazing group of co-hosts. They all bring their own flair. The LGBTQ, we meet on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. And also on Wednesday, we have nonprofit at 5 p.m. Eastern. And then on Thursday, we have ability at 3 p.m. Eastern, and then the Hispanic entrepreneurs at 4 p.m. Eastern. Now, interesting thing about the um, the groups that I host or am captain to, we are spread all over the world. Yeah, usually in HMP, you usually have, like, say, for example, Australia. Of course, Australia is very big. But we have, if you're in the States, we might have New York, or we might have New Jersey, or Wisconsin, as an example. But with my groups, we really are spread all over the world. And the Hispanic entrepreneurs, believe it or not, we actually, for the most part, we do speak English, but we do a little intro in Spanish, just in case we do have, one or two people that do not speak English. We will actually go into a breakout room with them. So that's always fun. And ability, we have a sign language interpreter. Her name is Marianne Ambrose, and she is phenomenal. So yeah, we are just like, we truly are worldwide. And that is why I love HMP. I get into my virtual plane and I fly all over the world to be with some awesome people. So yeah, love it.
Mm. And I guess that's what makes HMP as well. It's the people. And I forgot to do a shout out to the co-hosts, but it wasn't for the co-hosts, the amazing co-hosts that we do have. I guess Ian will probably be on his own. Our captain would be on his own, but it is also all about the amazing co-host. But it's also not just the co-host, but it's the amazing people that do come along, because they're all driven by the values of HMP Group, which is about spreading happiness. And really, when you spread happiness, you spread love, and that's what's really missing in the world at the moment, I think. Yeah.
Well said. Well said. Do you, Toby, do you know off the top of your head when the 3 Australia groups are, or no?
I can give you the Australian times. I'm not too sure.
Australian time. Yeah.
So it's Tuesday, 12 p.m. Sydney time, which is obviously your Monday evening. All right. And then there's Wednesday, 7 a.m. Sydney time. And the one I'm co-hosting is on Thursday at 2 p.m. Sydney time, which is, I think, you're about 9 p.m. Eastern time on the Wednesday, something like that. Yeah. So they're all accessible in your evenings or afternoons for anyone in North America. So yeah, if you feel the urge to want to come into the future, then come along to our events. And typically, it's interesting because typically about half the people do come from North America in our groups. So up to half, yeah. So it's good to see people coming along from all over the place, right? So in our Wednesday meeting at 7 a.m., it suits the UK time, English time. So we tend to get people from England as well coming in, because it's there. I think our 7 a.m. is like their 8 p.m., something like that anyway, in the UK. So yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah. So you want to do the honors and let our audience out there know, as we're talking about all this Happy Neighborhood Project stuff, and it sounds so great. How does somebody that's new to HMP find us and join our meetings? You want to take that, Toby?
Yeah, sure. So certainly, if you are interested, the first thing I would do is just put happyneighborhoodproject.com, right? Or just Google it and see what comes up. And I think the URL is www.happyneighborhoodproject.com. I think, is that correct? And then you'll come up with a list of all the different places that you can go to. I think there's about 60 different places across North America, Australia, India, and there's also some places in the UK as well. So we're rapidly growing. And in March 2020, we started with one event in California, and since then it's growing. I know in Australia in the last year, it's grown from one event, 3 events, and we're actually continually always getting sort of the highest numbers throughout the group. It's just, I don't know what we're doing, but I think people just like Australia and Australians. I think it is really, people like going to the future. That's what I reckon it is. Seeing if we're still alive tomorrow. Yes, we're still alive. So
yeah, It's fantastic. And you're right, there is a novelty to it. Ian Kingwell
Absolutely.
got that going, the way he talked about being the man of the future for the last year. And,
Yep.
so yeah, he really built a brand for you guys. And even our friend from New Zealand was on Worldwide and so forth today. And, so he's kind of gleaning from that at the New Zealand area as well. So really catching on here. So Denise, you want to give us a little insight in terms of you Live Creatively Inc. and in terms of creative conversations, and you're building up your YouTube channel. You want to give us a bulletin on what's at your workspace and what you're bringing out to the world and sharing with the Happy Neighborhood Project.
Absolutely. Well, Creative Conversations is a podcast I'm working on where I highlight you, your business, what motivates you, what inspires you, what you want your legacy to be. So if you want to be on that, definitely connect with me. You can email me at denise@livecreativelyinc.com, and I'd be happy to chat with you about that. I'm also working on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is a variety of self-development, self-care. We'll have a little bit of meditation in there. We'll have some affirmations, gratitude. We'll be doing a variety of things. So definitely look out for that. Live Creatively at YouTube. So definitely subscribe to that. And I actually just want to go back for one moment about, connecting worldwide. Just like Toby said, there is a meeting for everyone. And for those out there listening who maybe are thinking, well, why would I go to a networking event? I don't have a business. I work a 9 to 5, or I work for someone else, or I'm not even happy where I'm working at. Why would I even want to talk about that? I would still encourage people to come to one of the events because it might even inspire you to start your own business, right? Start building that network of people. You never know who you might be able to tap into. Maybe you're looking for a new job, a new career move. This is a great opportunity to come and connect with others, build a relationship, and just see where it goes, right? We really are a great community that loves to help grow each other. So again, just like Toby said, happyneighborhoodproject.com, and we look forward to meeting you.
Well said, Denise. I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to point out that when we're talking about co-hosting and being a captain or being a mentor, these are in large part, especially the co-hosts, volunteer positions. There's maybe fringe benefits. There's things like as a captain, to be able to open up the meetings, we, kind of get help in paying for our Zoom account, and there's membership levels at the co-op, and I guess more so just on the regular Happy Neighborhood Project format with verified happy businesses. And so there's little fringe benefits that are put out there as a little token of gratitude, but really when people accept to be in these positions, we're just accepting the volunteer, to just say this is a really neat thing to be able to, create the happiest place on earth for business people, create happy business networking, build connections in this way, this really unique experience. The co-op is, on fire. We just started in July, and we've already set a marker that we're, in the top 10% of co-ops, just by us going into the co-op format, by all of our accomplishments. Didn't take long, and we're at the top 10%. And wow, we're really going to climb that ladder when we get to 10,000 co-op members. So Toby, you want to speak to that a little bit in terms of like in B&I, they talk about like givers gain and so forth. There's a mantra, pay it forward. There's a little, I don't know if I want to call it etiquette, but it might be a principle. It might be a guiding force to say, if you come into these communities, you want to get the most out of it. We're putting our service hat on and saying, how can we be a benefit to that other person that we're meeting? Do you want to speak to that a little bit, Tony?
Sure. Now, excuse me. So what we try to think about is that in terms of business, nobody's going to buy a few unless they know, like, and trust you. So that's our mantra here. Now, one of the things that's a little bit unique about the H&P is that we don't sell anything, right? So we don't go and give our sales pitch. Yes, we talk about our products and services, but it's not like, hey, because I've been to many meetings, many of these networking meetings, and it might be 30 people in the room, and then the question, the leader might say, okay, who here is to sell? Who wants to sell something? So 30 people put their hand up, right? And then the next question is, who is here to buy, right? And no one puts their hand up. Everyone's looking around at each other. So what happens is these events tend to be all sort of sell-fest. So people just constantly pitching to each other in the hope that somebody may buy. Now, H&P is a little bit different because we don't do those sales pitches, right? The main thing is to understand in business, you've got to build relationships. And like I was saying before, nobody's going to buy if they don't know, like, and trust you, right? So in order to get that to that point, right? And thing is also with the H&P, you and I may not do business together, but once I get to know you, Kurt, or Denise, or Emily, I can certainly advocate for you. Because why? Because I already know you, I like you, and I trust you, right? So that's the main thing, right? That's the first thing you need to understand. So instead of going out and trying to pitch things to people and sell things to people, no, let's just build a community where we get to know each other, right? And even if you don't have a business, right? You don't, like I said, we're not pitching anything here, really, right? You just tell us about what you do. And I guess it's about the community building, getting to know each other. And now I've got many friends in the US and Canada, and I just feel like they're family. I'm always open to talk to them. I'm always open to have conversations, one-on-ones. And I guess the real magic that occurs in these H&P events is the one-on-ones, right? If you want to do business with someone, ultimately build a know, like, and trust. By doing that, you have one-on-ones with people. So you go out, you think, okay, I like Kurt. And I think Kurt and I've already had a one-on-one earlier on. And then Kurt invited me to come on this podcast. I said, sure, why not? So that's what it's about. You've got to go out, reach out to people, and just get to know them. And what it is, it develops this amazingness with people. You realize that people are amazing, right? So it's not just, hey, just sell me the stuff, and after a while it just gets boring, right? So that's the key difference between B&I or the BX or those other networking groups. So I hope that's sort of answered your question. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Denise, I want to bounce back to you now again. If you can kind of come forward and kind of give us a little shift away from H&P and business and stuff. And, like I said, I never know if, there may be something worthwhile to share from faith life or faith journey, or other volunteer opportunities you've done recently or are doing, or historically, or just kind of in personal development, what you might be doing to just improve upon yourself on the personal side of things, and maybe some things you want to share of yourself, Denise, that you do for fun. I know H&P is fun, but with a little bit of a business regime. So I'm talking about fun to goof off and to be silly and stuff like that. So let's get personal, Denise. What do you want to share today?
Let's get personal. So yeah, I lately have been going down a rabbit hole on YouTube. I look up one thing and I say, oh, I'm just going to be on here for like maybe 15, 20 minutes. I like looking at short little things. Before I know it, I've gone down this rabbit hole because I love it. And so that's fun for me. Love watching movies. I have movie nights with my best friend Courtney. Um, so yeah, we do that. I'm not a really big. I know how to cook, so, and people say I'm a pretty good cook actually. Never follow recipes. I just invent my own stuff. But lately, I've been in this Uber Eats and DoorDash, and I'm like, you know what? I just don't want to think about it. I just want to go and order and have fun with my friends and not think about anything. So lately, I've just been in very relaxed mode, which is interesting that although I have um, the responsibilities at HMP, I don't see it as work. Like I don't see anything really that I've created a life for myself that I love so much. I love the work I do. I love the people I'm with. I love the responsibilities, if you want to call them responsibilities, that I have. Um, because, when you think of the word responsibilities, sometimes you think of, oh, I don't want to do this, but I have to because, it's a responsibility. But it's just, my life is so much fun with the people I'm involved with, the things I'm doing every day, the work schedule that I've created for myself, the time I go to bed, because I'm a night owl, the time I get up, I'm not a morning person at all. So I have a good life. I am so blessed. I just love life. All is good in the neighborhood.
All good in the hood. Nice. So,
Yes.
Toby, you want to run with this side of our conversation and talk about work-life balance and what you do when you're away from work and doing anything else in life? What does that look like?
Sure, and I agree with Denise. You've got to be able to create the life that you love, right? And I guess when you're doing what you love, then it's not work, basically. So that's my mantra. And every day I wake up and I think, wow, it's amazing. Yeah. And every day is different. Every day I get to meet interesting people. Like on Wednesday, I had 10 Zoom meetings with interesting people, basically, almost back to back, right? It makes my life fun. My friends, say, I said, what are you doing? They go, oh, just the same old day. And they ask me, what are you doing? I said, oh, I'm having an action-packed day. I'm doing this, and this. And I just think, wow, you lead an amazing life. But the thing is, you create that. It just doesn't happen. So you've got to make some sacrifices. You've got to have a vision. And of course, you've got to build yourself around a purpose. Now, and most of us here already have that purpose, and our purpose is to serve, right? Is to help others grow. And by helping others grow, you're actually growing yourself. Now, one of the things I do, I'll just explain now. First thing I do is I like reaching out and giving. And so what I'm involved in is a thing called Viet Love here in Melbourne. And what Viet Love is, it's helping the Vietnamese migrant community here. So I volunteer, I'm a committee member. And what we do is we address things like domestic violence. We address things like language barriers, because most people that come from Vietnam, they might even be here for 20 years, they still can't speak English. They don't have the opportunities to integrate into the Australian society. I'm sure it's pretty much the same in the US as well, where people come from, say, Central America, they don't integrate and they stay with their own communities, and they never get to, I guess, explore the opportunities that are available if you are able to integrate. So it's about integration, it's about language, it's about helping out with gambling, it's about helping out single mothers, or anything that we can serve the Vietnamese community. And this particular community, we serve about 30,000 people. So we're helping out in all sorts of areas. I'm really proud to be part of that, because it's just a way of giving. There's no benefit to me. It's just the fact that a friend asked me, and I saw the purpose and passion she put into it. So yep, I'll help out in whatever way I can. Now, the other thing that's really concerning for me at the moment is the mental health of especially entrepreneurs and founders. Now, given the fact that we've all been locked down, and we've talked about that previously, there is going to be a legacy associated with lockdown in Australia, it's kind of crazy, right? I'm sure it's the same in the States, but if you ever played a thing called tether tennis, I'm not sure if you know what tether tennis is, but it's like a pole and it's got a coil on top, and you just whack the ball for one, the other person whacks it the other way, the other person whacks it until it spins around the coil, right? Now, that's what a lot of Australian business owners have been through, right? It's a case of tether tennis. Now, let me explain that. So we're not talking about tether tennis. It's about, they've been hit with the government lockdown, so they can't open the business, right? In some instances, up to 100 days at a time, right? And then what happens is they're open now. Now they can't get staff, right? Now and then all of a sudden we're having supply chain issues. So some restaurants and those sort of things can't even get supplies. Like I know KFC in Australia can't get chickens, right? Go figure, right? And then now what's happening even further is the fact that people, the disease is spreading across Australia at the moment, right? So people aren't going out. So not only have you been in lockdown for 100 days at a time, and you can't get staff, so you can only do takeaways, or you can only run your restaurant for half a day, or can't do evenings, or whatever. Then all of a sudden you can't get supplies. Now people aren't going out. So what we call this a shadow lockdown. So imagine you running the business, right? How you be just whacked. It's almost like whack-a-mole as well. The moles pop up, you just whack. That's what it feels like, right? So my concern is the mental well-being of founders and entrepreneurs. So what we're doing is we're launching in May 2022. It's called the Founders Retreat, right? And what I'll do is I'll put the link in there for you, and for those that want to have a look at it, and allows entrepreneurs and founders to come to a retreat for up to a month. So we have 7-day stays, 14, 21, 28-day stays, where you can rejuvenate. You can actually do yoga, meditation, eat healthy food. And, if you want to, go to the spas, put the cucumbers on the eyes and the green around your face, you can do that as well. Get massages. But the other thing also is there is a co-working space. So you can still run your business and be in an environment where it's tropical. In this particular case, it's going to be in Bali, right? So we're hoping that hopefully the coronavirus will ease a little bit, and it allows our barriers to entry to lower a little bit. But certainly we want to make this a long-term thing for people, because there is a legacy associated with lockdown, and we're only just starting to see that legacy. And that legacy, we want it to turn from mental health issues into mental well-being issues. So look after yourself, eat healthily, and also associate with people around you that inspire you, right? So hopefully people will understand this and say, well, this is amazing. Because what we want to do is we want to grow this business across the globe. Now, we're looking at 5 events across the globe over the year. So the first one, our trial one, is in Bali in May 2022, right? But the next one is going to be in Fiji, right? Again, it's going to be up to a month. You can come 7, 14, 21, 28 days. There's a co-working space. We also have a PA there to assist you with business. And also we'll be doing some business coaching as well as part of this as well. The third one we're looking at planning is Vietnam. And then hopefully the fourth one will be in Panama. And the fifth one, it'll be somewhere in Europe, either in Greece or Hungary. And what we're doing is we're trying to get low cost location. There's no point in, say, going to Australia, because Australia is a very expensive place, right? So we want to go there and get people, go to places where it's pretty much affordable. Plus a little bit exotic as well. You've got a holiday, you want to go where there's, palm trees and beaches and, all that sort of fun associated with it. It has to be fun as well as a bit serious work. But these days with the digital nomads, people can work anywhere. And so what we're trying to do is create a lifestyle around that, where we just travel around the world and it's kind of what we say, follow the sun. Right, so nobody likes to be in winter. I know you guys are experiencing some heavy winters this year, or a heavy winter. So my thing is, I'm not a tree, so I should be able to go anywhere I want. So if I want to move, I can move, right? But I need to be able to set that up in a business. So by having an online business, I can be anywhere in the world. So why would I want to be what I don't want to be? So that's the kind of our mantra. But what we want to do is make this into a lifestyle as well. And the lifestyle is about mental well-being, the most important thing, having a good work-life balance. eating well, exercising, and just doing things that help us with the mind. Yeah.
Awesome stuff. And we have a podcasting brother, I might call him, Zach Clayton. He has Community Pay It Forward, and he's got a podcast called Pact, Podcast for All Coming Together, or Podcast All Coming Together, Pact, Pact. And so so everybody out there, and you, Toby, in terms of the nonprofit stuff, Zach, his function is he builds relationships with businesses on the premise that he wants the business to support nonprofits by having a portion of the sales transacting to the nonprofit to fund nonprofits. And then so then he's building these relationships with nonprofits, and it's like a matchmaking thing that's facilitated through the consumers. So the consumers get the control panel to say, okay, I'm going to buy from here, and I'm going to direct the proceeds from the sale to go to XYZ nonprofits. So I encourage you to get with Zach through communitypayitforward.us and maybe be on his podcast, and otherwise make sure he's aware of. Do you know Zach Clayton already, Toby, or no?
No, I don't. It'd be good to get introduced to him, but I'll have a look at the website if you can. Yep, there it is. I can see it, communitypayitforward.us. That'll be awesome to just build a relationship, because it is about building relationships with people, because you never know where it's going to go, right?
Yeah, so feel free to keep in touch with Denise, Emily, and me. We all know Zach, and you know, he's involved quite heavily with 2-22 to Save 22 and 22 hours of podcasting and other activities, of which will intercept with the 12 hours being facilitated out of Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin, 2-22 to save22.com. And so a lot of worthwhile stuff, a lot of hard work, you know, to help make our world a better place and to really reach people, to make a difference for people. Because with 2-22 to Save 22, we're addressing suicide ideation and the issue, the crisis of losing our veterans to suicide. You know, so coming out of the USA, the U.S. Veteran Affairs is telling us over 37 veterans a day we lose to suicide. And so we're kind of branching off and making a worldwide response to dovetailing to our HMP community, and just seeing what people all around the world might want to do to just make a tremendous global disruption, and to direct all this energy to our veterans to deal with this life or death subject here. And so we're hoping a lot of you Australians help us with that, because you're going to get to 2-22 before we do, you know. So that's how we're going to do it, almost like a New Year's Eve celebration, the way we're going to go through the time zones. So Denise, you offered your email, Denise at livecreativelyinc.com. So obviously homepage of livecreativelyinc.com. You mentioned your YouTube channel. You want to help everybody out there with additional ways to, you know, self-tour your work and to check out your YouTube channel, how to find it, and you know, other things that you can refer them to let them self-study and keep going on their own after we end this podcast. What do you have, Denise?
You know what? You can connect with me, like you mentioned, at livecreativelyinc.com. My email is Denise at livecreativelyinc.com. You can also connect with me on WhatsApp at 516-382-8189. Love to connect with you. My YouTube channel is still being worked on. It's out there, but there are no videos yet because I'm working on some awesome stuff. So look out for that, and just definitely connect if you want to be on the podcast, Creative Conversations. I am looking forward to chatting with everyone. And big shout out to all my co-hosts. Emily, she is an amazing producer. She does so many things, and she is always helping me out with my other beautiful co-host, Maria. Really quickly, I'm gonna see if I can go through all these shout outs the way Mark Ham does. I have LGBTQ, I have Alan, I have Leon, I have Carlo, I have Georgia. Nonprofit, I have Patricia, I have with Molly, I have help me out, Kurt. Oh my gosh, I have so many people that I love and they're blanking out on me right now. Ability, I have Maria, I have Adam, I have Zach, I have oh yeah, in nonprofit, I have Marianne Bliven. She is amazing, Dr. Bliven. Also doing the 222, she's been phenomenal in getting all this stuff together. I have Hispanic entrepreneurs, Maria, Michael, Lucy. Oh my gosh, my beautiful mentor, Kathy, was always out there helping me too. And if I forgot anyone, you know I love you all. I am just blanking because I feel like we are getting ready to leave. But I love you all. Big kiss, big hugs. Love you, love you, love you.
All right. So Toby's reporting www.bcfacademy.education, www.bcfacademy.education. Toby, any other references you want to give people? We're doing some bonus minutes here. We want to make sure we leave our viewers and listeners with everything they need.
Yeah, sure. If people want to reach out to me, they can obviously catch me on the website, but I prefer LinkedIn. So what I'll do is I'll add the LinkedIn. It's always, or you can just look me up by name, Toby Nagy, or perhaps even I'll just put my email in there. But anyone wants to reach out, have a conversation about their business, or you just need some assistance, there we go. They can reach out to me. LinkedIn's always the easiest. We get to look at each other's profiles, which is really nice. But if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, that's fine. Gmails, or just check out the website for the bcfacademy.education for the courses if you are interested. And if you need any assistance and coaching, that sort of thing, then I'm more than happy to have a one-on-one chat with you.
Excellent. So let's get connected, everybody. Again, Toby's at www.linkedin.com/in/TOBINAGY. LinkedIn.com/in/TOBINAGY. Email tobi.nagy@gmail.com. tobi.nagy@gmail.com. So that'll do it for today. Thank you so much, Toby and Denise. What a vibrant, energetic, and just packed with insights and information. You two are fabulous people. Part of our favorite roster of participants and leaders at the Happy Neighborhood Project. Friends for life now that we've met and our lives have converged, and we're out there ready to converge with as many as we can reach out there now. Again, aiming to reach 8,500 of you to join us at the Happy Co-op, thehappycoop.com. I'm yours truly, Kurt Roskoff. I'm also an ambassador with the Disability Channel. The Disability Channel, working in concert with us in media programming and podcasting. And Anne Maria Bliven has Veterans Onward to Prosperity TV show with the Disability Channel. Folks can call and text me, 262-372-1SKI. That's 262-372-1754. And email through my original radio show that got me started in all this, abilitymkenow@gmail.com. abilitymkenow@gmail.com. Emily, over to you. You get the last words if you have any. Otherwise, the three of us are over and out. What do you have, Emily, if anything? It's a bye-bye.
We're here every Friday, everybody, so we encourage everybody to join us on Fridays for this podcast, as well as any of our other podcasts that we do. So I guess until next week, please, our next podcast is tomorrow afternoon at 2:00 Central. So join us, please. So I guess until next week, everybody stay happy.
Oh, bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you for having us.